So, how's the reception out here?
We have sports, weather, ooh, the Science Channel.
Keep going. Whoa, what's that?
The man, the myth, the legend, the loser. Captain Quark, once the idol of everyone in the galaxy, has finally hit rock bottom. After his humiliation at the hands of Ratchet and Clank, Quark sold bogus merchandise he claimed were Gadgetron products. But a key defect in this product, the personal hygienator, caused severe irritation in sensitive body areas and alerted authorities to Quark's scam. Behind the Hero will return after these messages.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yes, I suppose it...
All this time, my personal hygienator must have been causing that itch.
Anyway, we should be at our destination shortly.
Too late again.
We always seem to be a bit late. Why is that?
Well, let's check this place out and find out where he's headed.
Ratchet and Clank Going Commando walkthrough. So this is on planet Notak, and it is actually an entirely optional objective that we're going for here. And the reason I say optional is just because it's a nanotech, so it's going to raise your health by 1, but for some reason it is behind hordes and hordes of enemies, and a lot of them you may have to go through to get to the other objective anyway, but you know, any little bit of health helps, and it's not bad to get. So that question mark that we're going for in this level is, as I said, just a nanotech. And when I got to it the first time and had to go through all that work, I was like, really? Just 1 health? That was all they gave me? Just 1? And there's other moments in the game where getting 1 extra nanotech is a heck of a lot easier, either just by leveling up normally or just because it's easier to get to that specific one anyway. So there's a couple of boxes you may want to destroy, and of course ammo, which is weird that they give you so much right from the beginning, but anyway, when you want to get to it, walk on into this designer place, and it's kind of a cool world. I think this was probably my favorite world in this game, just because of the way it was designed. Maybe it's because it was a little bit more darker, I don't know. I don't know why it is, but this one just... it ended up being one of my favorite worlds for some reason. Anyway, I've sped up this part of me destroying all the mannequins because there was no reason to let that last forever, and then I got some of these crates, and then we're going to walk on into this next place. And there's even a pretty cool planet there with rings going around it. I don't know why, I don't know what that's all about, but kind of reminds me in the Star Citizen social thing that they just released, and you walk outside and there's that kind of infinite gear moving thing in the center of the plaza. It's pretty cool, but you know, stuff like this has been doing that for a while too, so I guess, you know, get on the ball there, Robert Space Industries. But anyway, so back to this game. There's more stuff you can destroy here, a couple of statues, and at least I don't know if you can destroy those or not. I didn't really want to waste too much time figuring it out, but there are quite a few boxes next to these statues and enemies, which are pretty much the same thing that we've run into. There's nothing too new, and it's not that bad. There is a spawner here that I don't think we've run into yet in this game, so be sure to get rid of that. That one was hiding very annoyingly in the corner behind the tree. And then for this, you can destroy these fountains if you want to. You can also use your Therminator that we got in the last video. I think it was the last video. You can use the Therminator to freeze that pool for whatever reason. I don't really think it does anything if you do, but you can. And if you use the Therminator with fountains that are spraying, I think it even freezes the water coming out of the fountain. And that can look pretty cool, so if you want to do that, then, you know, go on ahead, I guess. I mean, it's up to you, it's your game. So anyway, this stupid enemy's hiding behind the tree, and he was weirdly glitched, and it wasn't really letting me aim onto him, so I had to whack him with the ratchet there. It's one way to deal with a glitched out enemy, and luckily this game didn't have too many glitches like that. There is one horrible glitch that happened later on that almost killed me a few times, but I'll explain that when we get to it. The third Ratchet and Clank game, that one had so many glitches, man. I don't know what they did wrong to that game, but like up your arsenal. Anyway, I'll complain about that when that walkthrough comes. Now, as we saw there about 10-20 seconds ago, those fake mannequins jumped out of the glass and started to shoot at us. And once again, we were kind of in a narrow doorway, so I had to jump back and then kind of come up here to be able to deal with them. Once I defeated them, you're going to want to take out this ship, which shoots a bunch of bullets at you. Luckily, his bullets only do about 2 nanotech damage. That's better than doing like 4 or 6, and then there's a couple more glass windows you can break here if you want to. You don't get anything for doing it, but it is just kind of cool being able to destroy stuff in a game that's this old. And then there's going to be more worlds you can blow up, and I realized, oh, those aren't real mannequins, I should have known that. And then I ran back a little bit just so I got a little bit more space to deal with them. So as I've mentioned, I think I've mentioned this before, is that just this game is way faster paced than the first game, because in the first game, the easiest ways I found to get past hordes of enemies was to stay back and pick them off one by one, but in this one, because you can strafe, and because weapons are a little bit better for up close, it's usually a lot better just to dodge their bullets and shoot them with the weapons that you have. So that's kind of cool, how they make you a little bit more engaged, and you're less of a sniper sitting in the background trying to pick them off one at a time. But there are a few times that I will actually be picking off some of the enemies from afar, just because there's so many of them, and those are going to be some of the most annoying parts. So anyway, once we get past this part, and I guess I got a trophy for collecting a certain amount of bolts there, I will want to just walk onto this platform and jump on up here. And I think there's a few more enemies. Yes, there's going to be a few more enemies we'll have to deal with before we can get that juicy 1 nanotech. And just kind of dodging around these guys, trying to get on the side of them. You don't want to get surrounded by enemies, especially guys with guns, and that's probably one of the worst things you can do. So try to keep at least anything to your back. Try to keep that clear, and try to make sure you can see almost everybody shooting at you, and that way you can avoid all of the bullets coming at you, because you can actually see them. So that ship was being a little bit persistent. I don't know what was going on there. I think I was locking onto the wrong guys, and then of course it upgrades, which is awesome. I had a couple of upgrades in this video, and in this game you can only upgrade weapons once, so that is the fully upgraded saw glove that we are using. And what's kind of cool about that one is how when it hits an enemy, it'll now split into 3 or 4 different saw blades that'll ricochet around and hit more enemies. And this increased gravity gun, which has also now become a nuclear launcher, is pretty cool for enemies in big groups and does a lot of damage to single enemies too. Unfortunately, it still only has like 8 or 10 ammo, so you can't use it too often, but the times that you need it, it's pretty good. So anyway, we are nearing the end of this video soon here. There's health over here if you need it. I always need health in this game. And once we walk up into here, there's the nanotech, and that'll be it for this video.
You have found a nanotech boost. Nanotech boosts instantly increase your maximum nanotech capacity.